Good morning. I'm here to share a tip with you as a parent about moving through old beliefs that bubble up and create fear, sadness, and anger. And why do we want to move through these? Well, we know why we want to, but what if our children experience this with us? What if they witness what we're going through? Right? We don't like that. We don't want our children to see us in pain, but they do. They do see us in pain. And even if we try to hide it, they still know, they still feel it. They're still aware. So I had that experience, this morning I was feeling some fear, and over the weekend, a lot of fear about money. We all have that as parents. We have fears about money. And I'm a single parent, and I've made a transition to start my own business and work part-time in order to do that. So this is a big change for me. I always have to have the security. And so the truth is, though, for me, is that this fear around money really had another core issue. And that isn't just for me, that's for everyone. There's a core issue or a core energy about that. And so I was feeling a lot of emotion around it, and I was crying while I was cooking breakfast for my daughter and I. And I wasn't proud that she was seeing that, but I also felt that it was important for her to recognize that we have feelings, and we feel them, and when we feel them, it's okay, and to love ourselves through our emotions, and then to rise above and see the bigger picture and move through that energy somehow, and then, move to the next level of who we are. So what I'm learning through being a parent and in every other part of my life is that being comfortable with being uncomfortable is essential. Because there's always going to be something uncomfortable. And so when we can figure out, or realize is a better word, when we can realize what the true core of it is and move through it, then it's gone. And we can move up into the next layer of who we really are and live into our authentic, empowered selves. And be the parent, that can support our kids in their own empowerment too. So here are some tips. I'm going to give you a few. One, it's okay to feel your feelings in front of your kids. Be authentic and true with them. So while I was crying, and then my daughter was, why are you crying? And she's got to get to school and she's feeling impatient. I sat down and just said, I'm going to sit with this feeling. In no way am I okay with you wanting to fix this for me. So don't. That you are not responsible for how I feel. And as I sat with those feelings, she went back upstairs, and I really sat with them instead of trying to avoid them and ignore them. A memory came up, and the memory is where this core issue or feeling or belief came from. And the belief was that I'm not good enough for what I'm choosing to do in my life right now, or that I'm just not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. And so the memory was this. Now, is that a belief that's true? No, that's a belief that was playing these thoughts in my head of fear. What if I can't do this? What if I don't have enough money to take care of her? What if I'm not able to support my kid and myself? And what if? That's where those thoughts were coming from. This fear, this core belief of, this fear was playing from this core belief of, I feel not good enough, not worthy enough. And the memory that showed up was, I was a little girl, 12 years old, 12 or 13, I think I was 12, somewhere around there. And I wanted a tape recorder, those flat tape recorders that held cassette tapes in them. And you could hook them up to stereos and record from them or whatever. they were really cool. They were the newest thing. And my friends and I used to, yes, I'm older than what I look, but my friends and I used to record music off of tape cassettes and share them with each other and trade. And I didn't have a tape cassette recorder, and I wanted one. So I used to just have to borrow theirs and give it back. And so I asked for that. And I was so excited because I wanted the big and bad one. I remember exactly what it looked like. It was black, all black with a little red button to record. And I just loved it. It was skinny and lightweight. I could carry it around easily. I didn't have to plug it in. It used batteries. That's what I wanted, right? And so I came home from school one day and there was a gift on my desk in my room, or on the table in my room. And it was a recorder, a tape recorder. And it wasn't that one. And it wasn't that I was so selfish and such a spoiled little brat that I was like, it's not that one. It wasn't that. This was the way that I felt most often in my life, and not because my parents weren't wonderful, because I carried a belief that I was not good enough, which it came from long before this moment at 12 years old with this gift. But so I opened up the gift and I saw the recorder was a big clunky old kind of, it wasn't what I was expecting. And it was, I had to plug it into the wall, and it did use batteries, but then it drained the batteries so quickly. It just wasn't the one I wanted. And I was really, really disappointed. But what really showed up while I was sitting this morning and feeling this feeling was that my thought in that moment was, well, I just must not be good enough for them to buy the one that I wanted. They get my sister the bigger and better one. Why didn't they do that for me? Well, first of all, my parents are so amazing. I probably didn't tell them specifically which one I wanted. Also, I was really super creative, and I always like to decorate things, paint them and whatnot. So they probably thought, oh, she would love to decorate this one. It's plain and it's easy to decorate. There's space for her to do that. My parents were always thinking about what I would love. So this wasn't about them, and it wasn't about the tape recorder. It was about the belief that I held, that thought that came up right away. Well, I just must not be good enough. I get the one that's second best. That's just good enough for me. And so when that thought came up this morning while I was sitting, that belief, I realized I was carrying that. Well, I must not be good enough to be able to run my own business and create this amazing, beautiful dream that I've been carrying around for 12 years in my heart and in my soul. And so, well, that's not true, because thoughts and beliefs are just not true. So it's absolutely not true. So then I decided I had to take my daughter. It was time to take my daughter to school. So I took her to school, and I was, kind of just in my space, letting those thoughts kind of roll around in there. And I was observing images I was getting and feelings and thoughts. And then I decided, I got this very, very clear, call your friend Joan. So I texted her to see if she was able to talk, and she was. So, of course. So I decided to share with her all of this. And she said, wait, same. She said the same thing. What I'm getting is that same thing. It's not about the tape recorder. And I was like, right. And so I immediately started to remove that energy, right? But there are tools that we can use. And I just happened to forget this tool. I use this with children, but I forgot to use it on myself. And as parents, that happens. We take care of our kids. We forget about ourselves, right? So she reminded me. And for that, I am in such gratitude for Joan. I love her so much. She's a beautiful friend, and I'm so grateful to have her in my life. And I want to share it with you. So here's tip number 2. It's called tapping, EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. I don't know I've never taken a class. I've just watched videos and learned through friends and different things, and I just do it myself. And I'm just going to give you this tip, and you can follow along and then rewrite it in your own way, and use it however it works best for you. But that's true empowerment, when we use things that work best for ourselves in the way that we can use it, because everyone is so uniquely different in their human form. So I wrote out, this was another thing that Joan and I talked about, the core belief, now that I know what the core belief is I don't feel good enough, right? then what is the opposite of that? What do I choose to feel? What is it that I really want? I want to feel more than good enough. I want to feel amazingly good enough. I want to know that I am good enough, right? So we want to change that belief. So on the outside, I write the belief that you can call a negative belief. I feel not good enough. And then in the center, you're going to write the core belief. I am more than enough. I know I am more than enough. Whatever words work for you. And then in between that, you're writing out what shows up. Like, as I wrote this down, I just sat with this. I feel not good enough, but I want to feel more than good enough. Well, my truth is I am worthy. So I wrote that down. I am not good enough is just a belief. This is just not true. Oh, it's an old pattern that's falling away because I am valuable. Maybe I'm afraid of my own greatness. So that's the first step to creating your EFT tapping technique for yourself. So I wrote that down, and I'm going to kind of set it up here. Hopefully that'll stay. There we go. And then I'm going to take you through the tapping, okay? Just follow with me if you want, or just watch and try it again later on your own. So you start with this, and like I said, I'm not an expert, but it works. Even though I feel that I am not good enough, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I feel so deeply that I am just not good enough, that I may not care for my daughter the way that I want to, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I believe that I am not good enough, I love, honor, and accept myself and anyone else or anything else that may have created or contributed to creating this belief. All these deep feelings of not feeling good enough. All these thoughts and beliefs of not feeling good enough as a parent and in my life. Maybe these are just beliefs. Maybe this is just not true. Maybe it's just an old pattern or an old belief that is falling away. Because I am valuable. Because my truth is that I am worthy. I'm tapping right here so you can see. Maybe I'm afraid of my own true greatness. In the depths of who I am, in the depths of my soul, this pattern is falling away of I am not good enough. Releasing and clearing the thought pattern and belief of I am not good enough. Clearing out the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that I am not good enough. Clearing this out in all parts of who I am. And replacing it with I am incredibly valuable. I am more than enough. I can see my own greatness. I can feel my own greatness. Because the truth is, I am worthy. In the depths of all part of me, I am more than good enough. My value of who I am is my own greatness. And the whole part of who I am knows my greatness. And any parts of me that still feel that I'm not good enough are clearing out that energy. I am completely releasing any parts of me, any energy, any thoughts, any beliefs that I am not good enough. Because I am more than good enough. In my heart space and all knowing of who I am, it is done. So that was tip number 2. You can do this with your kid too, with your beautiful being that saw you go through this, and they'll see how you move through all of this emotion together, and it would be a beautiful experience. And if they're not interested, they're going to see you moving through it anyway, and they're going to feel it, and they're going to know that, hey, my mom's got this, or my dad, he's got it together. And it's okay to feel our feelings. It's okay to recognize what's happening and allow it to bubble up for the new, amazing, great story that I'm creating to show up now. And to fill in those spaces where I feel not good enough was sitting. And now that's not sitting in there anymore. You feel totally different. And you can do this more than once. I've done it 3 times. This is the 3rd time this morning. And I'm feeling amazing because of it. So here's tip number 3. I do this with children as well. It's much simpler, of course, but you can focus on specific core beliefs, definitely, because children will clear it out even faster than us. But just the way I do it, just kind of to start our day, I've done this before, just to kind of start the day. And if our kids are kind of grumpy, or I kind of make it fun, or just depends, I'll kind of start like this. This is how I start. Even though I'm feeling grumpy today, I love myself anyway. I'll make it really silly. And then I'll start right here. And I might sing, I am valuable. I love myself. Do I know this? Oh, yes, of course. My heart space knows this, that I am valuable, worthy of all the love in my life. And I just keep going. Sometimes I just do affirmations like, even though I may be feeling a little angry right now, I am peace. And then, even though I'm feeling angry, oh, the anger that I feel. Deep down, I am peace. I am peace. In my heart, I know I am peace. And I just keep going, and I might sing it, and I might not. I might say it in a silly way. I might use an accent. Whatever works for each kid is different. But singing has always worked for me because that's just kind of fun what I do. And kids think I'm silly, but they do it anyway. And they feel really good. It releases. Sometimes, we might think this is kind of odd, but it does release that, these are specific areas that help release those patterns that are locked, and they unlock, and then we can retrain our thinking and our words and our feelings. But sometimes we're spinning and we can't get out. We're spinning, and we got to get out of it first. So that was tip number 3. I hope this was valuable to you. From one parent to another, you've got this, and rock on, because I love you, and this technique will certainly benefit and help you a lot. Check me out on achildslight.live because there's all kinds of other things that I offer. But if not, and this was enough for you, thank you for being here. It was fun to do with you, and I hope it was super duper helpful. Thank you.